Hiya fishy folks, and welcome back to the channel, Michael's Fish Room. Grab yourself a healthy snack and beverage. We're going to clean a sponge filter. Welcome back to the channel, fishy folks. Today we're going to be talking about how to clean an aquarium sponge filter. And the reason is, it's time to clean sponge filters in my fish room, and I want to show you how I do it. Now, as with everything that I tell you, this works for me in my fish room. It may not work for you, but give it a try. It probably will. So as you guys probably know, I do use the Aquarium Co Op medium sponge filters. Full disclosure, Corey did send me sponge filters for every tank in my fish room at no charge, but I give honest reviews. I do like the sponge filters a lot. Better than most of the other ones, basically because of the sponge porosity. It's very coarse, which means it doesn't clog as easily as some of the smaller sponges, or smaller hole sponges, and that just is good for lazy fish keepers like me. So a couple things about a sponge filter. They're pretty simple. I'll show you just how one of these works. You hook an Airline up to, you need an air pump, and the air goes in and creates negative pressure or a vacuum, and that sucks stuff to the sponge filter. So as the bubbles come up, it creates a vacuum essentially. And what I love about sponge filters are when they clog, because they do clog, they don't typically overflow a fish tank like in a hang-on back filter. Also, in the fish tank, all the biofilm and moam and debris that sticks to it, the baby plecos and guppies that I breed for profit in my fish room, can snack on all day. And so you'll see plecos or other fish, you know, picking at it, and they're eating. It's like a buffet for them. All right, so without further ado, let's get to how I clean an aquarium sponge filter. Stand by. All right, fishy folks, this is a pleco breeding tank, and you can see I have actually two different filters in there. I have the China filter hanging on the glass that I've modified with additional sponges, and then the actual filter that does most of the filtering in here is the Aquarium Co Op medium sponge filter. Now, I don't have a lift tube on it because it's a pleco breeding tank, and in my experience, plecos get stuck in the tube and can die. I don't want that because that's a loss of revenue. So here is how I clean a sponge filter. I know that Corey from Aquarium Co Op recommends using a bag to go underneath it. I'm too lazy to do that. So here's what I do. I leave the Airline connected. I reach in and I carefully, slowly lift the filter out. Make sure all the plecos leave. Then, with the Airline still, see, I tried to avoid that, but I didn't. With the Airline still attached, I detach the Airline. Then I come over here to my bucket of water. Now let's talk about this bucket of water for a second, folks. This bucket of water is water from my auto water change system, so it has no chlorine in it. If you're a loser and don't have an auto water change system, then just use either water after you gravel vac, use that water, or you can use fresh water and dechlorinate it if you so choose to. Of course, if you have well water and there's no chlorine or chloramines, you can use that. Here's what you do. So this filter has a top, and it's got a Zis Never Clog Air Stone. This is the black Aquarium Co Op Airline. That goes in the water. This sponge comes off. You can see how gross it is. You can see how gross the base is. Here's the tricky part. Not really. Put it in the water and squeeze until you get chocolate milk. Mmm, tasty. This filter's not too bad. It's got some more dirty spots, so I'm just gonna, what I'm doing in the water is I'm doing this with my thumb and I'm twisting. Okay, and that's kind of cleaning the outside. Again, this is my method for cleaning a sponge filter. Then we take the base. I don't care about snails, so I'm not gonna worry too much about all the snail eggs. and baby snails. We put the filter back together. You can see there's some snail eggs there. I will kind of take them off because, yeah, I don't really care, but just for you guys. And that's that. Then we come back to the tank and we hook our Airline back up and we place the filter back in the tank. Now sometimes you'll have air in them, so you're gonna have to squeeze it a little bit to get the air out. This one doesn't though. And that's that. That's how I clean an aquarium sponge filter. The few things you really need to be concerned about is make sure the water that you're using to clean is dechlorinated. And that's that. This will probably clear itself up in the tank in about 15-20 minutes. I don't particularly care because obviously it's a pleco breeding tank and see all the baby plecos. They're going to eat all this mum. It's great. But that's how you do it. If you had a show tank, you might want to be a little bit more careful when you pull the filter out so you don't, you know, get all that debris in the water and it looks yucky in your living room. So, guys, don't overthink it. It's not that hard. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Have a great day. The video. This is stupid.